What's going on, everyone? Dottz Gaming here, and today I'm very excited to bring you guys the first video in the series introduction to my ultimate beginner's guide to PvP in the Elder Scrolls Online. So I decided to make this complete PvP beginner guide series for how to get better and improve at PvP, as well as cover the basic concepts of cyrodiil battlegrounds and how to properly utilize terrain and LOS to your advantage. And the reason I did that is because with all the discussion about PvP performance recently and all the videos that have popped up in the comments that I've seen on Twitter, in the comment sections of the videos, etc., I've seen so many comments from people saying that outside of just performance problems holding them back, they don't PvP much, primarily due to the learning curve with PvP feeling too steep, and they've just been scared to honestly try and get started. And with my goal with this series is to help flatten that learning curve for you guys and help you better get into PvP and better learn. If you're someone that's wanted to get into PvP but has been nervous to start or has been struggling to get better and doesn't know what to do, where to go, or why they're losing or dying, then this is going to be the series for you. There's currently a massive void for a guide series like this on YouTube, and I'm hoping that this will be able to fill that role. Now, the videos in this are going to be a bit on the longer side because I want to go as in-depth as I feel that I need to with these videos, and I won't be putting any time limit constraints on myself because I don't want to miss out on any info that I feel that you guys need, or if I think of a good way to demonstrate a certain point, I don't want to exclude it just because of video length. So all the videos are just going to be as long as I feel that they need to be. Now, my estimated number of videos is going to be about 10 in total, including this one, and these videos are going to discuss all the concepts and topics you are going to need to know to get better at PvP. But before we get into any of those things, we need to discuss the most important thing to improvement, and that is going to be your attitude. You cannot and will not get better at ESO PvP, or frankly anything you're trying to improve at, if you do not have the right mindset. You need to practice and play mindfully, playing with purpose and not just mindlessly running around. Now, before I address some basic things you're going to want to do over the course of this series, I want to also, like I said, address these different attitudes. So there's two primary attitudes that I think people are going to have when they're most likely watching this video. The person who just came here to actually improve because they actually want to learn, and the person who thinks that PvPers like me are just hacking and using meta builds and that's why we're winning, and what am I going to teach you that you possibly don't already know? So for the person who wants to improve, thank you for clicking on this video, and I really hope that I do a good job conveying the information to you over the next 10 videos to help you get started in PvP. If you've watched my stream or any of my content, you know I am about self-improvement. I'm about working hard to accomplish your goals. I very much have a teach a man to fish kind of mindset, and I hope that I can live up to the expectations that you guys have with this series. And if you do ever have any questions, never hesitate to reach out to me on my Discord server at discord.gg/dottsgaming, or come by my stream and ask me questions. Now, for the people with the ego, the people who think that small scalers and people like me or get 20, 30 kills with BGs, we're just hacking, or we're just using broken meta builds, and that's why you just can't kill me, and, you know, that's why we kill everybody. It's just a broken builds, man, you know, but we need to just have a little heart-to-heart, okay? Because I'm gonna be hitting you with some hard truths here that you might not want to hear, but please keep in mind, I'm trying to help. 99% of people you encounter are not hacking, okay? You are not losing because they're in a broken meta build, and you're not. You're losing because you're being outplayed and you're making mistakes. You're losing because your character is set up poorly and their character is not. Their character is set up very well. And the first step towards improvement in this, and the way that you'll get the most out of this series, is realizing that you are not as good as you think you are, and that you have stuff that you personally need to work on. You need to drop the elo hell mindset of it's everyone else's problem that you're dying, and look inwards and realize that you are the one that needs to improve. Also, if there was ever a game to not have an ego in, ESO is the one. While of course it's good, of course, to be competitive and strive to be better than you were yesterday, don't attach too much to ESO PvP when fights can sometimes just be won or lost by bugs and lag. But when you see people do all this crazy PvP stuff and you think to yourself these types of negative thoughts, you need to push that shit out of your head, and instead of just pointing fingers saying they're doing this or they're wearing that and that's why they're, you know, that's why I can't kill them, it's them, them. You're pointing. Take a moment and look inwards, okay? And ask yourself, how can I do what that person is doing? What can I do to change, to make myself better? Maybe it isn't everyone else's fault. Maybe there's something I could do. Strive to improve. Strive to be better. And it starts with leaving your ego at the door, taking a hard look at your gameplay, and developing an improvement-focused mindset. All right, so with the ego discussion out of the way, we got to get that out of the way before we can even get into anything. I want to lay down some basic things and some simple tips that you guys are going to utilize over the course of this video series, and things that may be helpful for you while you implement the topics that we discuss in the upcoming videos. Now, every time you die in any fight, you need to ask yourself, why did I die there? What could I have done better? Now, an easy way to do this is going to be recording your gameplay. This will make doing that 1,000,000% easier. Oftentimes, when you're just starting and you're in a PvP situation and you die, you're going to find yourself going, bro, what could I have done? I was out of options. There was nothing I could have done. What could I do here? Dottz Gaming, tell me what to do. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. There's only a very small portion of the time that you really could have done nothing. In the overwhelming majority of situations, it is because you made a mistake of some sorts, whether it be positioning or with a micro or macro gameplay decision. And those mistakes can be hard to catch in the moment, because when you're first starting, your vision is tunnely. You're just focused on so many things and there's a lot happening, and it can be hard to catch those mistakes when right now nothing is second nature to you, okay? Now, I want you to think to yourself, though, have you ever noticed that it's a bit easier to watch someone PvPing over PvPing yourself? It's because you don't have that tunnel vision. You're not worried about all of those different 99 things at the same time. You're a lot more relaxed. And you can apply that exact same concept to your own gameplay by recording yourself PvPing and then watching it back. The amount of mistakes that you are going to be able to pick up is going to astound you at first. For those who don't know, I used to do VOD reviews as one of my Patreon tiers, and I would have people send me their VODs and be like, you know, I'm not sure what I can be doing better here, and within the first couple minutes of gameplay, I immediately pick up some common mistakes and common threads of issues that I end up seeing over the course of the entire video, you know? And you're gonna have to ask yourself some questions about, why didn't I potion here? Why is my buff up time so bad? Why didn't I kite here? I could have easily dodged that ability. I poorly managed my resources here. I shouldn't have gone offensive here, etc. And you will see these types of things every time you watch your gameplay. And every time you do watch your gameplay, what you're going to want to do is pick the most relevant mistake from your gameplay footage and solely work on improving that the next time you PvP. Do not try to improve 10 things simultaneously. You want to start simple. If you watch your gameplay back, and the thing that you notice the most is, okay, my armor buff uptime is horrific. The next time you PvP, I want you to focus heavily on just the uptime of your armor buff. Even if you die, you better be dying with your armor buff up, okay? And if you continuously do this, you will notice the improvements start to trickle in over time, because you're going to do this for every little part of your gameplay, and you will notice all of a sudden all these things, all these little improvements that you make over time start to come together. So you're going to record that gameplay footage, pick out the most relevant mistake, and work on that next time. Small improvements over time will lead to long-term growth. Also, if you need help setting up your recording software, I do have a guide on my YouTube channel for how to set up OBS Studio for recording on any PC with an NVIDIA graphics card, so feel free to check that out. The next thing I want to mention is PvPing in offline mode. If you don't know, you can open up your friends list as like a little picture of a man next to your name, next to your @name. Click that, change it to offline mode. Trust me, for a lot of people, you're going to find yourself improving way quicker if you don't have some douchebag whispering you about how good he is and laying out his fragile ego on the table in front of you. By playing in offline mode, no one will be able to whisper you, and so you don't have to worry about dealing with people's shit. Also, if you die and someone gloats, fuck them. Ignore them. We don't care. We are here to improve. If we never died, we'd have nothing to improve on. Do not be afraid of dying. You literally lose nothing by dying. Spawn up and go again. And especially at first, when you are new, you're going to be doing a lot of limit testing. You're going to be testing the limits of, you know, how long can I stay alive here? How long can I cut here? How long can I use this? How long can I use that? You don't know your limits yet, and so we are limit testing. So do not be scared to push things a little bit, kind of feel out where your limits are for your build and for your class. And again, if you die, who fucking cares? Just res and try again. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is the PvP content we should actually be engaging in and implementing all the stuff I teach you over the course of the series. Now, the things I think you should mostly be focusing on are 3 things. Dueling, battlegrounds, and if you do go into cyrodiil, stick to primarily 2 to 4 VX, okay? And if you have a friend to play with who is of equal to or better skill level than you, improvement's going to be a bit easier because you're just going to have more PvP options available to you with the things that I mentioned. So I'm going to speak to you if you have a friend or if you are alone. Now, if you have a buddy, you should be doing all 3 of those activities I just listed. You want to duel each other. Duel each other a lot. This will help you a ton in all aspects of PvP because you do not have anyone to cover your mistakes. If you screw up, your opponents can punish you for those mistakes, and then you can learn from them. BGs are also a great way to improve at your PvP basics because it's a self-contained instance. Everyone has equal teams in terms of numbers. You're guaranteed to find combat. Because it's no CP, everyone is a lot squishier, etc. Stick with your team, record your gameplay, and start practicing. Also, small scaling with a group of 2 to 4 people this patch is going to be the best way to improve at cyrodiil small scale, because the number of people that you can fight with even just 1 other person in your group versus by yourself is exponentially higher. And the reason for that is there's so many zergs, at least on PCNA right now. So if you have that other person with you, it means you will actually be able to get on more fights that you can statistically win more often than not. You need to just go out, pick fights, die, go back, pick fights, die, over and over and over again. Now, if you are alone, if you are, Dottz, I don't know anybody, I don't have any friends, basically what I would recommend that you do, your path's going to be a little bit more challenging, but it doesn't mean you cannot do it. I would say for a little bit, ignore dueling. Dueling is at least from my previous experiences, trying to improve at dueling is so much easier on the mental when you have a friend to actually duel with, okay? So while you're PvPing, see if you can meet some people, see if you can find some friends that you can partner up, be like, yo, you want to have some like chill duels, kind of want to practice, test the build, whatever. But I would say until you meet a friend, I'd personally avoid it. I think it'll be easier on your mental state personally. Just with the way some people can be with dueling. And I know some people are going to say, oh, no, don't worry about it. No, I feel like for most people, I would say focus on battlegrounds. Again, for the reasons that I stated, nice self-contained instance, very good place to start PvPing. It's where I know I first started when I was new to ESO and my CP was extremely low. I really heavily played a lot of battlegrounds. And then you can try to 1vx when you are new, but keep in mind it is a tough patch to do it. There's a lot of I could go into all the mechanics and reasons why it's tough and the group sizes, but I don't want to turn this into a 1vx discussion video. But I would say at first, do a lot of battlegrounds. And then when you start to feel like you are getting really comfortable and you are getting a lot of kills, you're not dying all that often, and you have the basics of battlegrounds done, I would say then try to move to cyrodiil. And you should be trying to primarily pick those 1vx fights at resources. That also goes to the 2vx people. Primarily focus on resources, trying to pull people off of zergs, and again, pushing yourself to actually challenge and take fights with people. I would say especially when you're by yourself, start with trying to take some 1v1s, okay? Then maybe some 1v2s, then maybe some 1v3s. Kind of climb that ladder, build yourself up. Don't immediately try to 1vx fucking 10 people, okay? Climb up. Pick up smaller groups of people over time, okay? And then eventually it will all come together. But obviously, all of these things that I'm discussing going to be a lot harder to do right now because I haven't exactly taught you anything yet. But I just wanted to discuss for this video attitude, recording gameplay, offline mode, and the methods of PvP you should be engaging in, because these are all the overarching things that you need to know for all the lessons that I'm going to teach you. If your attitude isn't right, you're not going to be able to learn properly. If you don't record your gameplay, you're not going to be able to easily see mistakes while implementing the things I teach you over the course of the series. If you don't play in offline mode, you may get discouraged by some man-child in cyrodiil. Obviously, this one isn't mandatory, but I recommend it for many. I mean, I still play in offline mode a lot of times. And finally, you can't implement the things I teach you if you don't know which PvP to engage in. Again, I highly recommend trying to engage in dueling BGs and cyrodiil gameplay. It's going to make you a more well-balanced player. But again, take the advice I discussed with that section to heart. And, you know, I think it'll be the best for your mental and your actual improvement. And the reason I recommended things that I did is because I'm trying to minimize you potentially being discouraged. And I'm trying to give you guys a good path to walk, to be able to feel like you're going to be able to improve and not want to drop off along the way. But guys, hopefully this was a good intro and you guys are looking forward to this series. I am extremely excited to start doing this. This is going to be the only week that I release 2 videos on this series. Every week going forward is going to be 1 video per week. But with this week, just because the intro video is coming out this week, I wanted to also release a second guide with a little bit more substance to it. So that is going to be coming out next. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to this, man. If you do, the link to the playlist is going to be in the description below. Feel free to save that playlist, like this video so you always have the playlist link, and just keep an eye on it for those uploads every week. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to always know when they're up. And guys, smack the like button on this video. It'll be able to get it into the YouTube algorithm, get it out to more people so that we can have more people improving at and getting better at PvP and just enjoying the game mode a lot more and getting more new players into the PvP pipeline. But guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I'm Dottz Gaming, and I'll see you all in the next guide.